don't worry. Even though you probably have plenty of reservations about me, you can be sure that the prophecy is genuine. In fact, many of you here today may have heard the code name of the one who left the prophecy to me. She hailed from an ancient assembly of powerful women, each of whom used a single letter to signify themselves.
Who would have guessed? It seems that power was indeed left behind by the old hag after all.
Ah, so you're B's student. It's an honor to meet you. I am Scarlet, the successor of Jay.
Well, what are you talking about?
It's a long story, but I'm not quite sure that I'm the best person to tell it. Since you've all spent so much time and energy trying to decipher this prophecy, you must also be very interested in the secret behind this lantern, no? The lantern has already been lit. Now then, please allow me to disturb your happy peace.
Huh. Why did this little thing just light up? How strange.
Hello? On the other side of the lantern. Can you hear me over there?
Mom?
Oh, I hear many youthful voices.
Madam, I am Scarlet, the successor of Jay.
Oh, since we've last gathered, Jay's successor has already become so reckless and bold. Unbelievable.
Wait. Why are you talking just like the old hag?
Old hag? Who would dare say that? Is that Mona?
Who are you? Who dares imitate my master?
And what of imitation and mimicry? It has always been a fool's errand to mimic and learn from humanity.
Oh, it's Alice. I'm here too.
Mom, why are you trying to talk like other people?
So I see everyone's here. Well then, my warmest greetings, everyone.
Miss Alice, why would you...
Well, it's been many years since this lantern last lit up. You can't blame me for thinking that one of the old friends from my youth may have decided to catch up again.
Why she sounds so coy all of a sudden?
And if I recall correctly, we left this lantern in the care of the Anemo Archon Barbados. You must be commended for uncovering an artifact entrusted to the god of wind himself. Tell me, are you sitting around my beloved tea party table?
It's a really long table.
Oh, so you are. I suppose this means even the Anemo Archon has granted you entry to this place. Was all of this Scarlet's doing?
Wait. Paimon's completely lost now. So what was this assembly you were talking about earlier?
Oh, Miss Alice, would it be all right to leave the explanation of that to you?
Well, you should be rewarded for making it all the way up here and activating the lantern. Now then, let me tell you a long and ancient story. Ever heard of the Hezenzirkel? As the spooky name suggests, it's a secret society. Once upon a time, it even challenged the Anemo Archon himself. But he replied, "Let us make music, not war, and resolve our conflicts through song." From then on, the mages would only ever convene in the woods, in the skies, or on the edges of cliffs. At these tea parties, they discussed their stories and secrets and resolved their differences, as the tea and cakes bore witness to their pledge never to fight amongst themselves.
Yesterday, I snuffed out the life of my beloved. He had grown old and was extremely sick. He loved me dearly, so I took his fate in my hands and ended his pain.
I'm raising a son. Of all the children I had, he's the only one left. But I suppose that still makes me a mother.
My lifespan is nothing compared to yours, so I wish to leave you with my storybook. Actually, maybe you can pass it on to your children one day.
Oh, this looks interesting. Let me scry.
My dear sisters, we mustn't let prophecies threaten our bonds of friendship. Even the most frightening witch was once a little girl, and growing up can be so tough. Sometimes we all need to vent our troubles to the wind. Even if the nations go to war, or the sky falls down, the mages' tea parties shall forever be held around this table.
Ah, so this is where the legendary mages held their meetings.
That's right. We often met here to chat and have tea.
Then, what about the part saying that if we light the lantern of utmost joy, we'd receive a supreme blessing?
About that. I never expected anyone other than Jay to actually read the full contents of that prophecy. It's a little embarrassing. The truth is, that prophecy was actually just a letter that we sent to Jay as a group the day before her wedding.
So it was indeed written by all of you.
I must thank you for resisting the urge to immediately reveal the truth to everybody, Albedo. Knowing you, you probably figured out everything the moment you laid eyes on the message.
No, it took me a little longer than that.
A flower that is not of this world, a guide who will never get lost, one who would never lie, and a legend that never ends. These 4 descriptions signify 4 individual mages. When a member of the organization had to leave the group to spend the rest of her days with her beloved, the other mages would write down this prophecy and send it to her to invite her for a final get-together. A flower that is not of this world signifies, of course, flowers that do not naturally exist in this world. This is the signature of our full name, Rhindaughter, also known as Gold. If there's anyone in this world who could create a flower species that does not yet exist, it would be her. The guide who will never get lost is N, otherwise known as Nicole. You may not have encountered her yet, but she is a truly extraordinary woman who has made this world's direction and order her subject of study. Some of you may be fortunate enough to have already heard her voice. Like a prophetess, she will only speak to guide people toward the truth when a change has occurred in the world. She has a tendency to suddenly speak in someone's mind without any warning. If one day you would be unfortunate enough to run into a truly dangerous situation, she may use her voice to guide the way forward for you.
Who would have guessed that there are so many mysterious women in this world, and that they would all know each other?
The one who would never lie is me. I hope no one would take offense. It's just that I, Alice, or A for short, have always had a soft spot for those with sincerity and candor. As for a legend that never ends, you may not know M in person, but you've likely encountered one of her works. Have any of you ever read The Boar Princess?
Huh? I'm pretty sure every child in Mondstat has read that book.
It's also one of my favorite stories. M was an exceptional human writer who used her prose to teach me the meaning of grief. Don't you think such a person would deserve a seat at the mage's table?
Paimon's getting more and more lost.
It may sound hard to believe, but I can attest to everything that Alice has said. Jay was also a mortal who aged and passed on, leaving her title to her students and followers. Alice, you've never acknowledged any of Jay's successors. It's now been centuries since the first of us took on her mantle. I've always wanted to meet you.
Do you also want to become a mage?
Title aside, I think I'm more interested in the meaning and purpose of the Hezenzirkel. I used to think that the Hezenzirkel was a group of women who could control the very fate of this world. But now, I've seen for myself that besides Jay, many other ordinary people were also among you.
Do you think less of us now?
No, not at all. My interest has been piqued, and I'm now even more drawn towards the idea of becoming a mage.
You're right. I've never acknowledged any of Jay's successors. But you are different. You are much more fascinating than any of your predecessors.
Oh, has someone finally piqued Aunt Alice's interest?
Now is not a good time, Scarlet, but as soon as I am able, I will seek you out for a meeting. I want you to tell me all about Jay's married life back in her hometown.
So the mage who received the prophecy letter from all of you was Jay? She left the Hezenzirkel after getting married?
Precisely. There was only one way the letter could have been interpreted. She would have known what we meant as soon as she saw the message. We were just asking one thing of her. Please come to see us again. Before you go and settle forever with your happiness, please come share some of it with your best friends and sisters.
So, the Supreme Blessing actually meant...
All journeys are fleeting and will eventually come to an end. What will give us the most fulfillment and happiness in the end are those who will greet us at our journey's destination. Dear child, I believe you can also understand what I am talking about. We women will always have many troubles and encounter pains and frustrations that will keep us up at night. But no matter how hard things may become, we will cross mountains and oceans to see our best friends again, regardless of how many years have passed or how far the distance may be. As long as we can be with our beloved friends, our hearts will be filled with joy. To us mages, that's what being supremely blessed is all about.
Oh,
I still don't get it, but I do know that all the mages are Mom's best friends.
If you ask how I see it, the Hezenzirkel is just a group of ladies that I spent my youth with. Anyway, I'll introduce some of the other members to you all later. I still have a few things to attend to, so this will have to do for today.
Bye, Mom! Todoko says bye, too!
Goodbye, darling, and farewell to all of our other friends as well. I'm sure we'll see each other again. Oh, now that I think of it, isn't it getting close to that time of year?
Yes, it's Windblume again, Alice.
it's also a special anniversary date. I'm sure you still remember.
Yes, I do remember now. It was on this day many, many years ago that Jay tied the knot. Ah, just in time for the Festival of Love and Freedom. Everyone, please enjoy this year's Windblume Festival to the fullest.
Whoa! Albedo! Why didn't you tell me we'd have to glide all the way back down?